Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Taff's Word again, and this is going to be the last Taff's Word now before the start of the new season. And who's ready for it? And who's going to Stevenage? And if you don't support Newport County and you're watching these blogs, who's your first game? Leave a comment down there, and I'll tell you how I think you're going to get on, basically, or I'll conversate with you about it. Want to see more comments, want to see more likes on the videos, and I'm hoping that people to watch these blogs. If you don't watch any of the other videos on the channel, give them a try. And we've got plenty of playlists, plenty of things for you to watch. And there's plenty from other teams as well. Good compilations as well. If you've seen the American Cringe compilations yet, getting a lot of good reviews on them. So if you want to have a good laugh at the Americans' expense, crack on. Just crack on. It's in the compilations playlist, along with many other things as well. So plenty more things to do on this channel than just watch me and my sorry face talking about Newport County and our ups and downs. Obviously, we've had a lot of downs of late. It's been difficult, 2 difficult seasons. We ended the last season on an absolutely storming high. I'm hoping the momentum of that is going to carry us through to next season. And with the team that with the good players that we kept and the good players that we've added, I'm hoping that we're going to push on and we're not going to be considered down in that mix. I mean, the bookies and the experts are saying that we're going down this year. I think we had a much weaker team last year than what we got now. I think we had a much weaker setup as a club. I think everything about the club was wrong last year until Michael Flynn took over and brought the club back together. He galvanised the club. And as far as I'm concerned, that haven't changed. Over 1,000 season tickets sold. It's phenomenal. You know, the public in Newport, the community of Newport, is really getting behind the club now, which is something that we've all wanted for a long time. And now, Stevenage, I'm expecting there to be a lot of people there. It's going to be a really good day and occasion for us because this is the season where we're really going to feel like a proper Football League club. Because, to be honest, we've been in the Football League, but we've been left behind in many aspects. And I think people like Alex Tunbridge being involved in the club now, I think it's just taken us to another level now. And I can gladly say that I believe we're on the road to becoming at least a fully fledged Football League club. We have a good plan in place to maximise everything that we can. But at the end of the day, we're fans owned. So owners fund their club. I mean, every chairman has to dip in their own pocket from time to time. We're the owners. So unfortunately, we have got to dip in to our own pockets at times. I mean, I know we haven't got deep pockets like, like multi-millionaire owners and things like that. But what we have got is together just to throw in that little bit a time, which adds up, and we'll be in a position where we can have a competitive team on the pitch, and we'll be able to start putting money away off the pitch to safeguard the future of the club, where we're going to play in the future and everything like that. I mean, rewards and benefits. I mean, it's an absolutely brilliant incentive. I know a few people are knocking it, saying, "Oh, I don't want Nando's. Why do I want to pay a tenner? Just for a Nando's, just to put money into the playing budget." I mean, at the end of the day, if we're putting money into the playing budget, it's money that we can keep to one side for other things. And I mean, you're getting more than just Nando's. I mean, there's a lot of food outlets you can get money off of, but there's things like Jessup's. There's things like tiles and blinds and things like that. If you're a house owner, paying the minimum £10 a month, £120 a year, you're going to get that money back across the course of the year. They've got tyre places. Everyone has to go through tyres if you drive a car. You get money off your tyres. It all adds up at the end of the day. And the best thing about it is that you're funding the club at the same time. It is win, win, win. Businesses that are involved are going to get more people through their doors as well. So everybody wins. So I just can't understand how you can knock an incentive like that. It's beyond me, absolutely beyond me. But anyway, what can I say? Never really been the most optimistic of supporters, have we? But at the end of the day, we've always been the most passionate of supporters, and that's one thing, you can't take away from us. So, Stevenage, first game, reunite with Alex Samuel. I mean, if you watch the lives, I've been asked about Alex Samuel an awful lot. I was quite controversial in my thoughts of him. They haven't changed. I feel after what he went through with the club, I felt we were worthy, at least, of being able to talk to him. If Stevenage were offering more money and we couldn't meet it, at least he would have sat down with us first and just said, look, they're offering more money. I need to think of myself. I need to maximise this while I've got my football career. Understandable completely. Or it may be that he may feel he's got a better chance of a more successful season there, or Stevenage's setup is far greater, and it's something I want to be involved with. End of the day, at least he would have sat down and given us a chance to talk to him and say, look, we're going to give you a deal here. It was, you played magnificently for us. We want to reward you with a good deal and to carry on doing what you're doing for us. It may have been enough to get him to stay with us. So, it doesn't matter now. I mean, I'm happy with how we're looking. I'm happy with the players that we signed. And, we'll go to Stevenage and I think we're going to give him a bloody good game. As long as we hit the ground running, I can't see any reason why we can't have a good season. At least good in terms of not being close to that relegation mix. I think we have got a fantastic looking team. In comparison to what it was last season. Keeping some of the better players that we had last year. The players that really shine, the players that really excelled for Flinney. I mean, maybe the Great Escape is what brought the best out of them anyway. Maybe having to see every game as a cup final, as us fans always called it, another cup final, because it was, every single game was like a cup final, and every win was just as important as the other. Every point was just as important as the other, as it turned out to be. So, without that incentive, are they going to be able to play at the same level? Are they going to play with the same commitment? Michael Flynn knows football a hell of a lot more than people might think he does. He rubs off so well on those players, you can tell. All the players that are signed have all said, one of the first things they said after talking to the gaffer. So after talking to Flinney, they decided that this is where they want to be, because Flinney's obviously sold them on what plan he has, and that plan must be a bloody good one. So I hope there's going to be a lot of people at Stevenage. I expect there's going to be 400 or 500. Let's really kick the season off with a good crowd. It's an awkward trip, Stevenage, so I'm not going to imagine some people, and if you can't afford to go up to all 3 games, you can only afford to go to one. I totally understand if people are saving it for Coventry, of course, but it's going to be a good day regardless, and 400 to 500 county fans, we're going to be roaring for them. The drum's going to be there too. It's just going to be great. I just can't wait. We're going into it for the first time since Justin Edinburgh started the season for us with some optimism, some real belief that we could do well. And it's nice to actually feel that for real, because under Terry Butcher, we started the season and we all hoped, and we all kidded ourselves as well. I think, I think this team could be alright. I think Butcher could do well for us. I mean, really deep down, you're thinking, I got a bad feeling this is going to go wrong, and it did. Feeney. Now, if he hadn't ended the season as badly as he had, there would have been a lot more people on his side, I believe. A lot of people felt that his record at the end of that season should have seen him sacked, and 1 win in 19 should see someone sacked. So, it all didn't work out for him either. But this time, we got a manager who's coming off of doing something great, and then he's then brought the right-looking players in. So, of course, we're really feeling optimism. And the good thing about it is the stability. There's actually some stability about the club because we got familiar faces. This is the first time in 2 seasons where we're actually going to know who's playing for us. We're going to have a good idea of who they are. We actually recognise faces, because having to get to know so many players, it's been an absolute ball ache, to be honest with you. But there we go. I mean, it's every reason to feel positive about the club now. Every reason to feel positive about the team, the management, everything. The fans, the amount of people that were there at Notts County that will have that memory that will live with them forever. Because it's not exactly something you're just going to go down the pub and think, oh, well, that was all right. Have a quick drink, forget about it the next day. No, you don't go to a football match like that and forget about it. You don't go to a football match like that without falling in love with not just the game that little bit more, but the team that you went to go and watch. So I got every reason to feel confident as long as the club can keep pushing it. Really, draw these fans in, find different incentives, find different reasons to get them in. The pitch is going to help. That's going to be a massive, massive plus for us this season. So, like I say, going into it with a real sense of optimism, not fake, hopeful sort of optimism, you know. So, yep, next time I talk to you is going to be after we played our first game of the season. And I tell you what, I'm buzzing for it. I really can't wait. And like I say, I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling positive about it, and I'm sure many others of you out there are feeling the same way. Like I said, if you're not a Newport County supporter and you watch these blogs, like I know I talk about Newport County a lot. When things calm down a bit, I will start talking about things. Like I'm planning on talking about money in football in my next thing. You know, just a Taff's word on football in general. Being as just today, Neymar has just signed for 200 million. Just 200 million for a player is absolutely ridiculous, but it's something I'm going to talk about in a different blog. So yeah, thanks a lot. Get more involved. Get some comments down there. I want to have some questions to answer. And next Monday, Taff's Live will be back at 10 o'clock, or basically after Game of Thrones. Oh no, actually no, I'll be recording Game of Thrones. So yeah, you'll see me at 10 o'clock. And I look forward to seeing more and more of you joining in on the lives. You know, I'm really enjoying doing that. And you know, the numbers seem to be growing every week. So also, one word to our sponsors who are sponsoring us for this season, Kevin Ward Media. Thanks very much, Kev, again. And you know, great incentive on Port Hour on Twitter. Mondays at 8 till 9. Mondays are great now with Port Hour and Taff's Word Live. You know, Mondays are worth, you know, going to work all day to look forward to what you got in the evening. You know, Port Hour is great. I'd get it if you're if you run a business, or if you're interested in knowing what's going on in Newport. Port Hour is absolutely great. And Kevin Ward Media, they're the guys who are bringing you that. So show him a lot of love. And obviously, he's helped us out this season. And the new flag that you'll see at Stevenage, the Welsh flag, if you haven't seen it yet, you would have seen a picture of the Welsh flag just before I started talking now. You know, Kev's sponsorship money paid for that flag. So, you know, we've got to show the guy a lot of love. Anyway, thanks again for watching all. And until the next time, and for those of you going Saturday, I'll see you there. So, up the county. Cheerio for now.